So straight away, here I've logged into now I'm going to present the point of sale experience. So I've logged into the point of sale. So this is the MPOS, the modern POS. And just to show you in the settings, we have loaded in our extension package for Lifestyle. And this follows the Microsoft extension methodology. One version as an ISV, we stay up to date based on those releases. So we, for example, work with customers not only from a GA standpoint, but also from a first release standpoint. Anyway, having said that, so now you guys kind of get the feeling for this point of sale. Just to give you a quick lay of the land of some components that make us unique. We have, for example, a check carousel here. So checks, the concept of a check is you can have multiple checks going on at the same time, and you can place different products on different checks and switch between them. In the standard line display or receipt grid, we actually have some additions here. We show you the modifications that are made, and we can also show you the seats that are selected. For example, if you're ordering by seat at a table where you have table management. We support check management, we support checks, table management, and then sending to kitchen. This is unique to Amicis. This is our dynamic point of sale menu. So just like you have in the standard retail, you have a dynamic point of sale menu. We have extended this to the POS. So no longer does a hospitality customer or even a retailer or anyone using this point of sale need to micromanage their menus and define colors and properties and stuff like that. This is all rendered dynamically, and just by adding an item to, for example, the pizza menu or group, then it'll appear in this, and you can control from a menu management standpoint, you can control when certain menus are active. So for example, I can say on this point of sale, menu 1 is active, and between 9 and 12 we have our breakfast menu. Between 12 and 4 we have some offers going on, and you can control what the server or the associate sees. The way we usually reference this is we have a main group here. You can have subgroups, so one level down or multiple levels down within the navigation hierarchy or the menu hierarchy, and then you have your menu items. These are individual products, and you'll notice you can see pricing, and you can see the name and so forth. Now, taking a step over to some of the operations, we have this concept of managing menu inventory. So in a restaurant, if you're, for example, selling steaks and you only have 20 steaks, on the point of sale you can specify that you have 20 of a certain steak, and then all of the registers can be selling that steak down to be depleted at 20, and once you've sold the 20th, it'll notify the server that they can no longer sell any additional ones. And you can do this for any item in the system. We have delivery management, specifying delivery instructions, and then essentially creating a delivery job that gets assigned to actual drivers in the system. So we create a delivery job, and then you can auto dispatch it to delivery drivers or manually dispatch it to delivery drivers. And these drivers can be your own drivers. So for example, you can have your own workforce that drives vehicles, for example, in the pizza scenario, or you can tap into, for example, Uber Eats, DoorDash, Grubhub, any of those to actually have your food delivered. We also accept orders from those delivery platforms or ordering platforms, and we can actually allow, let's say, Uber Eats to send us an order and deliver it for us, to send us an order and we deliver it, or to send, or that we create the order and they deliver it for us. And various different combinations there, very important in today's environment. We also have nutritional information, so nutrition and allergen information on a product. We calculate on the point of sale, on the kiosk, online, the nutritional value, so the nutritional facts of a, let's say, pepperoni pizza, not just based on some defaults, but based on the modifications you make. So hopefully this has given you kind of a quick lay of the land, and now I'm just going to go through a couple of different scenarios. So you'll notice we have our check here. I'm going to go ahead and sell a pizza, and in this case I'm taken straight into the modifications. So the meats modification group. And what you see here, based on my previous slide, is we have available modifications for this specific pizza that we sold. We're actually selling a recipe. This feature isn't available on the point of sale out of the box. So now I've sold a recipe, you've got your default ingredients, and then you've got your modifier groups, modification groups. These are the add-ons, the ingredients are the defaults. So by default, meats is selected. I'm actually going to go ahead and select ingredients and take a look that this pepperoni pizza has mozzarella, marinara sauce, and pepperoni. I can actually go ahead and substitute the marinara sauce for, let's say, barbecue sauce. And then from an inventory standpoint, inventory consumption standpoint, and costing standpoint, within F&O, the back office, we'll actually go ahead and process that accordingly. You'll notice that if you want additional mozzarella, there's an upcharge. And you'll notice that, for example, pepperoni, we can actually hold the pepperoni. So in this case, I'm actually removing the pepperoni. When it comes to meats, we can select the left half, right half, or to the whole pizza. And here I'm going to go ahead and add some additional ingredients. And for non-meats, I'm going to go ahead and add tomatoes and mushrooms. So straight away, I've created an order very quickly in this conversational ordering workflow. On top of this, for example, let's say the customer wants a drink. I can go ahead and select a soda, and I'll just add a soda to this order. Now, if the customer suddenly wants to make a modification to the item they just modified, their pizza, no problem. They can go back into this conversational ordering screen and make any adjustments that they want. So by default here, when we go ahead and let's say assign a customer, so let's say I've scanned and assigned good need to this order, I can go ahead and make a payment, and this will get sent into the kitchen. So you'll hear the beep. The beep is essentially, I've set up a kitchen display system here that has 3 different displays. Just so everyone's on the same page in relation to what a kitchen display system is, a kitchen display system consists of multiple displays within the kitchen of the restaurant that is the order is being taken for. And the purpose of the kitchen display is to basically optimize the food preparation within the kitchen. And I actually have set up 3 different displays here, and I'll just explain this very high level. So we have what we call a prep station. A prep station is usually where the food is, let's say, cooked, assembled. Then we have an expediter, and this is for the final kind of assembly of the item. So the final preparation, ensuring we have all of the pieces to the order, because at this expo, this is essentially the point where the order is plated and taken out to the customer. And it can be taken out to the customer who is sitting at a table, or in this case, we have a customer-facing display, which will basically show the customer that, hey, your order 104 is in progress. Once it's been prepared and plated or bagged in relation to takeout, it'll actually go ahead and be bumped to the ready for pickup. You'll notice that we have orders now averaging a certain amount of time. We also have various statistics about the kitchen preparation. We can get visibility into the cooks, how optimal they are at different points of the day, and so forth as well. So just at a high level, you'll see here that this first ticket that came into the prep station is basically only showing us the pizza. It doesn't show us the drink. Why is that? Well, at the prep station, this is where we assemble our pizzas. So you'll notice here that we subbed out the barbecue, we cut the pepperoni, and then we added some additional ingredients. The chef knows exactly what needs to be prepared. If the chef is new and they need to see a recipe card, they can actually view the recipe card, which are recipe instructions for this item. They can also indicate the item is cooking. So if items take a certain amount of time, they can indicate that item is cooking. And what I mean by that is you might, for example, have a deep fryer, and certain items take different times in the deep fryer. So we can actually have a drop station display that, and as soon as you drop it, it auto cooks, and then it'll notify you on the other side on a pickup station that the food is ready and needs to be taken out the fryer. So these are some of the intricacies. We can also route based on allergens. So if certain items have certain allergens, we can route those to different displays, whether it's contains peanuts and needs to be prepared on a separate workstation, a prep station, or even based on, go to a kosher station or something along those lines. And then you'll notice on this side, we actually have the Pepsi as well. So the Pepsi indicating that, hey, they ordered the pizza, but they also have a drink. So in this case, you'll notice when we've actually taken this to a rush state. We can also prioritize. So for example, if you're part of a loyalty program as a customer and you identify you as a customer, we can actually prioritize your order. So by prioritizing the order, imagine this: I'm a part of the Gold Club. As soon as my order goes into the kitchen, it goes to the front of the line, and that's one of the perks of being in that club. But anyway, I can go here. I can bump this as a chef. It'll update here. I can tag this then. I can tag this order for notifying that I've actually picked all of the pieces that are part of this order. As soon as I bump this, it goes over to the prep side. So this was one example of selling a recipe from just a simple check management standpoint. I'll just quickly show you what that looks like. Here I have added 3 simple items, and I can go into check management, and then I've got these various options to split even, manual, by seat, by X. I'm just going to split manual to show you what that looks like. Here I'm going to spin up 3 new checks. You'll notice at the top we have again the carousel screen, or this carousel component indicating that we have 3 checks. So if you have multiple checks, this kind of gives you more real estate. I can now go ahead and drag and split these different items, and then I can go ahead and pay each and every one, and we follow the standard payment process. I'm just going to pay cash for this one. What you'll notice is when we paid this, the state changes for this item, for this specific check. It says paid. We have a concept of check pullback where we can bring in the check and make adjustments and reprocess. Let's say if you had a payment method like a card, we can reprocess against that payment method. And this is really important in the restaurant industry. And if you're familiar with the standard retail point of sale, you have to do a return, you have to select the products, you have to bring them into the POS, you have to rescan your other items. We do this all for you in a quick and easy way. From here, you can go ahead and basically print all of the checks. So if you want to print the checks for a table, you can clear the split, and then you can obviously just send each and every one of these, or print each and every one of these checks. So if I go back to check management, you'll notice that for the unpaid checks, they're here at the top, and I can traverse between them. So now I can go into the other one, and I can see the items on my different checks here. And it's printing the receipt there. But anyway, so having said this, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and conclude these checks, and just clear my list. What I wanted to show you now is the combo scenario. Specifically, I have a kind of a complex combo, and I'll just search for that here. I have a New York steak meal combo. The New York steak meal combo basically consists of, and this is actually us extending kits, but it actually consists of 3 components. It's the item that is a steak, it's the one item that is mashed potato, and then asparagus. So as you go through this, if I have medium rare preferences, I can specify that for my steak. I can go into mashed potatoes and I can substitute these out. I can actually price these substitutions differently. In this case, I'm just going to sub out the onion rings. I'm going to go to the asparagus, and here I can substitute various items. But the beauty about this is I can sub out an item that's actually a recipe in itself. And for this specific recipe item, I can make modifications to the ingredients, like I want to hold the onions, or even if I have additional modifier groups straight away there, I can go through and make these types of modifications. So now what I'm going to do is just go back to the kitchen to show you guys. Here we have some different items, and you'll notice that the Pepsi was sent into the kitchen, the 7-Up, the Dr. Pepper. This is for the expo screen, and obviously if we take a look at the prep station, only the New York steak was set in, cut onions and sub the onion rings and so forth. So having said this, I can go ahead and I can bump all of these off the screens, and this is kind of showing you the kitchen display stuff. I'm going to switch gears now, and I'm going to show you a similar scenario but with delivery management from the online food ordering side. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring up our food ordering website. So this is extending again the standard Microsoft solution. We've configured this specifically for the pizza scenario, and you'll notice here that we have some various different options. So right off the bat, I'm going to go in and order a pizza, and I'll go through like a key scenario. So this is a customer scenario. Customer comes in, wants to order a pepperoni pizza and have it delivered to their house. Okay, and this involves concluding the order on the e-commerce site, having the order flow into the kitchen, and having the order sent to the delivery management system. So in this case, I'm just going to select a pepperoni pizza. You'll notice I haven't signed in yet. And in this case, or let me, hold on, let me just start a new session because I already identified my. So, complete a browser. Go into the site again. I'll accept the cookie. So I'm simulating like a customer is coming to the site for the first time. So I'll go ahead and specify the pepperoni pizza, and straight away we're prompted, and this is what Amicis adds. We're prompting you into this delivery mode selection workflow. And in this case, I want to get delivery. I'm going to go ahead and select my delivery address that is in Houston. And this is in the United States, and I'm just going to go ahead and save that. So as soon as I save this, and even though I haven't signed in, I have logged my address, and behind the scenes, the system has already identified the restaurant where we are going to deliver from. So now this is called the buy box and this is an out-of-the-box component within Microsoft. What we have is an extension to this that allows you to do the modifications just like you were able to do on the point of sale, or as you will be able to do on the kiosk. So straight away here, I can go ahead and I'm just gonna cut the pepperoni. Actually, I'll go ahead and cut the pepperoni there. You'll notice that I can do left or right half or whole pizza. And in this case, I'm gonna do a left ham and roast beef, and you'll notice it updates here at the top to indicate where what modifications I've made. And I'll go ahead here and say to the right, I'm going to add onions and tomatoes. So now I'm just going to go ahead and add this to the bag, and it'll take me to my cart. So in this case, you'll see some standard stuff. I'm going to go ahead and specify gate code 1234. And I'm going to go ahead and initiate the checkout. But I'm going to initiate the checkout as Goodney. So it prompts me to log in. So now you'll see it's picked my shipping address that I specified. I need to confirm my delivery fee. So it's a $7.95 delivery fee. There are various ways to do delivery fee discounts. I'm going to go ahead and just use a gift card just to make this an easy process, and you'll notice what's in my bag here. I'm going to apply this. I'm going to save, and then I'm going to go ahead and place my order. So now it has confirmed my order, and what we should soon see is that from a kitchen management standpoint, our order should get sent into the kitchen, and I think we just have to wait a couple of seconds here. So just hold on there. So if I make this full screen, I'm back in my point of sale, but we can actually see now that there is the order has actually been processed. You heard the beep. What happens online is the order gets sent to the designated restaurant, and it goes into the restaurant for basically preparation. So again, like I mentioned before, we can go ahead and confirm this, and here we have the add left ham, add left roast beef, add right onion, tomato, and the meat. Remember, we cut the pepperoni. So now the kitchen can prepare your order, And once the order is prepared, we need to take this into the delivery side of things. So logged in as a driver. So the delivery management piece consists of a delivery management store specific management, and then driver management. So the driver management side, there's a driver app, and in this case Goodney is a driver. He's downloaded the delivery app, and now I can start accepting orders. But you'll notice that I'm not available yet, so I'll soon change that and go through the scenario with you. But here I'm going to go ahead and pull up the management component, and I'm going to go ahead and start off to just give you guys the lay of the land. We have some live stats, so you can see that no jobs are underway. We have 1 job at risk and 1 job assigned. So I'm hoping that this one will be the one that just got sent in from online. And currently no drivers online. We've got some past 24-hour statistics, and then some job summaries down here. The next screen here, this actually splits up into 3 components. The first one is we show you all the drivers that for a given restaurant, and I'm logged into one restaurant. I'm logged into my Houston restaurant, pizza restaurant. Here we can see all the drivers that are active for your restaurant. You see the map in the middle, where you can see your location, you can see where your drivers are at, you can see where your customer orders are at, and you can see the distance and the link between each and every restaurant and customer. On the right side, this is what we call a delivery job. This gets created when we conclude the order online. Okay, and to give you a lay of the land here, this is 1 job. It's basically the estimated completion time is 28 minutes. By default, it goes in for 30 minutes. As soon as the driver accepts, based on where the driver is at, these timings can be adjusted. And then we have some various configurations here. You can see that this is the Houston restaurant, and this is the customer. So if I actually take a look at this ticket in detail, I can see that the contact is Goodney Good. Oh, and I can see that the driver instructions, gate code 1234 is here as well. Then we can just see some details about the order. We can even go in and track that specifically. Anyway, so what I'm going to do now is on the app, as Goodney as a driver, I'm going to go ahead and just make myself available. Now I'm available here on the left side, and this order can now be assigned to the driver. So I go ahead as a manager, I'm doing manual assignments. We can do automated assignments. So for example, if you have 10 pizza orders and 3 of the pizzas are going to a certain similar area or even the similar block, we can stack the orders on individual drivers based on the kind of efficiency, and these are automated dispatch rules. But in this case, I'm just going to manually assign it to Goodney. Got a notification on my phone that says, hey, you've been assigned a new job. You can set it up so that the driver needs to accept. But in this case, as the driver, I can go ahead and I can take a look at the job, and I can take a look at some of the details, the delivery notes, and so forth. And now I'm going to indicate that I want to start my job. So I've started the job here, and the customer, I've also set up my phone as the customer's phone number. So this is my phone number. But the customer now got a notification, and he says, your order number Houston has been quality checked and it's on its way. Click the link to track your order. So we have an ability to give the customer the tracking abilities. So we can, for example, say, hey, we have started preparing your order is in the oven, we're quality checking it, your order has been picked up and is ready to go, or whatever it would be. Your driver is approaching, whatever those statuses are, we can do that. So in this case, the customer is just going to go ahead and here they'll be able to track their order. We have an ability to put in marketing material here and put in various bits of information, like we can, do gratuity, we can prompt you to sign up and create an account because you were a guest customer. We can, there's a lot of possibilities here. Or even, say, hey, you get a coupon for next time for, $20, or the status of your coupons or whatever that would be. Anyway, so now I'm going to go back to the app, and now I'm going to indicate that I've picked this up at the restaurant, which is the Houston restaurant, and now I'm on my way to the customer. The customer is Goodney. And you'll notice here that this is indicated that it's been picked up. I can go in here, and you'll notice the time now updates to say 55 minutes, and just ignore the fact that I'm all the way in Atlanta. But now I can actually go into the details of this order and as a manager, and I can see, yep, perfect, this order has been picked up. I can also filter at the top to indicate what has been picked up, what not. So straight away here, the Goodney is trying to deliver to the customer. He can't find the customer, no problem. I go into the chat and I say, can't find customer, or say gate code wrong. I'm just making this up now. Anyway, so now I send that in. That goes into the to our manager. The manager sees this and sees, okay, the gate code, calls the customer or whatever it would be, or validates and says, you know, it was 2345. No problem. So I get that. I go ahead and then I go ahead and deliver it to the customer. I can contact the customer directly. We follow GDPR policies, or we can go to an app of our choice for directions. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and deliver to the customer. But before I complete the job, I need to capture some information. I need to capture the customer's signature. I might need to take a picture of the food or take some notes. So I can do all of those things. But right now, I'm going to go ahead and just conclude this job. This job is now completed, and I can basically queue up the next job. So as a manager, I actually want to see completed jobs, because the customer disputed or called in. Let me see here. Let me reset all filters, apply a filter, show completed jobs. Perfect. So now I can go in and view this specific job, and hey, the customer said that they never got the food, so no problem. I can go in here, I can take a look and see the customer signed for it, and if any pictures that were taken, and then we can, you know, very accurately address the customer's, you know, concern or whatever that would be. If I just kind of continue through this flow, we have an ability to get visibility into all our drivers. We can look at certain restaurants. Maybe I manage multiple restaurants and I'm an overall manager and I want to track some stuff and look into some details. So from a reporting standpoint, straight away you can handle the driver pay out of this delivery management component. So you can define, you know, a fixed salary, you can define per job, and so forth, per kilometers driven and whatnot. And from a driver standpoint, I can actually go in and connect it to my payment method or payment provider of choice, and you can extend this and create additional ones if needed. So as a driver, I can get paid, and I do not need to go through some separate process for payment or whatever that would be. But yeah, you can see various statistics here. The driver can see all his jobs, all his stats. We can also go ahead and create these auto dispatch rules that I talked about. Here you define your teams. Here you have this concept of campaigns, and just to show you, this was one of the campaigns that I had set up for notifying the customer that we quality checked your order and it's on the way. You can collect it to your Google Analytics account, so you can see, you know, everything that the customer does within the link that we send them. You know, we can load your logos, we can do the CSS formatting. Here's the template, basically saying pizza restaurant John Smith. This is a placeholder. We get this from the online order name, the account name. The order ID, we get that from the order ID account, and we have a link here. The widgets that I talked about, just to show you, you can have different widgets, like you can have images, videos, text, promotions, promotion linking to a URL, driver tip, marketing opt-in, ratings, address correction, whatever that would be. And then last but not least, just managing all of your sites. Now I want to show you back on the website. I'm actually going to go ahead and go to the main screen, and I'm just going to sign out as Goodney, and I want to show you the location finder. So again, I'm just to clear the cache here because I've logged in as Goodney. I'm going to go ahead and just open up a brand new incognito window, same address. And here I go ahead, and in this case, I'm going to initiate a delivery, but a pickup in store, but this case I'm going to order a burger. We have extended the collections, the product collections, to support a concept of order now, where you can just add the item directly to the cart without taking you into the buy box or the customization. So for example, here I can click order, and up in the top right corner, it'll go ahead and just add it to the cart. This differentiates us. We can also view the ingredients and nutritional values as well for this specific item. But again, for the hamburger, I just want to go in and customize. So now I'm going to go in and customize the bacon cheeseburger. And again, it'll prompt me, delivery or pickup. In this case, I'm going to do pickup. It's asking me for my location. I'm actually going to allow, and I'm actually based in Atlanta, and this is the closest location. But for me, I'm actually in Houston. So I'm going to look up my Houston store. Perfect. I'm going to pick up at Westheimer, the pizza restaurant there. So as soon as I confirm this, again, we're looking up, based on your initial location, we look up the closest restaurant to you, or you can go ahead and override it and select which one you want to pick up. So in this case, I can go ahead and add the bag straight away, or I can go into the modification. So here we have the bacon cheeseburger. By default, it has a lot more ingredients. It has the burger bun, the patty, all these different modifications, bacon, onion, ketchup, and so forth. So in this case, and you'll notice here, you can do extra, you can do normal, you can do light. So that's one of the concepts there. Again, I can go ahead and add additional modifiers as in how I like. I can skip lettuce, skip mayo, and so forth. And I can add this one again to the cart. So now you'll notice I have my first burger and then my second burger that I modified. The beautiful thing about this, I can just go ahead and do a guest checkout, and I can specify my delivery options and go through that payment process in the same way. One of the things that I did want to show you though is from a combos and offer standpoint. If I go into offers, so we have added, for example, this concept of a pizza deal where we actually have half and half. So you can sell and say, I want my left half to be a pepperoni pizza, my right half to be a cheese pizza. And these are actual recipes in themselves, and it's a half unit. So here I can go ahead and actually substitute, for example, the pepperoni, the left half is going to be a Hawaiian, the right half is going to be meat lovers, and I'm going to select a Pepsi and a root beer, but then I'm going to add a house salad, and you'll notice there's an actual upcharge of $1 for adding a house salad. And then I can go ahead and add some additional ones as well. So this is just one more scenario in the mix. So anyway, having said this, this is from the e-com side. I've shown you some of the different extensions to the e-com. I'm not going to show you the standard discounts. We tap into that, allow for combo pricing, allow for discount, special discount pricing, and so forth. But anyway, having said this, I'm going to go into the back office and I'm going to show you the kiosk. So the beautiful thing about kiosk is it's an extension to the modern point of sale, the hybrid POS, which is Android, iOS, and also the cloud point of sale. And one of the key scenarios here is you might have a cafeteria or cantina that is that has maybe 2 point of sale and or 3 point of sale, and you want to be able to convert maybe one of those POS to kiosk. And we support that. So in this case, I'm actually going to go ahead and let me see if I want to make sure I have a customer. Perfect. I have Goodney in here as a customer. So I'm actually going to go ahead and convert this into kiosk mode. So now this is converted into kiosk mode. If you want to exit kiosk mode, you have to log in as an associate. You have to call an associate. And just to give you kind of the lay of the land here, we can define the menu that you see, but now you have the kiosk menu, the kiosk mode. You can style this any way you want. So you can have different colors. So for example, a customer of ours who runs ferries, they have very specific branding, very specific colors, and we've set that up to align to their coloring schema. But think about this. Now, as a customer, I can browse my menus. I can go in, I can look at my burgers. And remember, we had the burger before, and here is the burger. in relation to making these modifications. So now I can add this burger and modify whatever I want. I can hold the tomatoes, I can add the tomatoes, I can add bacon, I can add pickles, I can go to my ingredients and I can substitute out my cheese. I actually want Swiss cheese, but I don't want ketchup. I'm gonna hold the ketchup. You can see all the modifications are coming in here, no problem. I can go back and I can then view my different pizza options. You'll notice that I can do the half and half pizza, and here I can select my left half and replace it for the Hawaiian, and I can go to the right one and I can replace that for whatever meat lovers. Then I can select my drinks, and again I can select my Pepsi and my root beer, and then I can go to my sides and I can add a house salad for an additional $1 or whatever that would be. So when I've added this to the cart, we have, and before I go to the cart, I can actually identify myself as a loyalty customer by scanning my loyalty card. Here I can see any online favorites that I have. So I might have created an online favorite and I can pick from this list and buy it, or I can rebuy any of the things that I have actually looked at before. So here I can go ahead into the checkout. You notice I went into the checkout in the bottom right. And here I can actually go ahead and view the orders that I've just made. And if needed, I can go back in and I can customize this specific item. So let's say I didn't want to, add tomato. I can remove that. So just to show you kind of the flexibility of this, the payment process. For example, with the ferry line that we have, they only allow credit cards. But again, when you check out,